Hey, what is up guys? Clunky here. Hopefully you guys are doing well, and today we're gonna talk about the very best Shadow Priest build for the Season 4 in Dragonflight. Let's go! I'm so excited guys. Okay, just to prove my point real fast, okay? This is the very best players in solo shuffle, okay? And right now, I currently have the 24th spot worldwide for Shadow Priest with this build. This is not a flex. I honestly hate arenas. I hate them. I despise them. But it's just to prove that this build is absolutely insane, okay? If I was able to place myself 24th spot using that build in arenas, which I hate, you will most likely do better than me if you like arenas. So, alright. So, we're going to talk about the stats first, and then we're going to jump straight into the talents, the PvP talents, and then I'm going to show you guys the full PvP rotation that is going to allow you guys to dish out some massive damage, and also climb if it's your goal in the solo shuffle. But it's going to be a very good build for RBGs, solo queue battlegrounds also, which is going to be a super good focus in this season, because if you guys did not know, right now, whatever you do Battleground Blitz, all right? When you do Battleground Blitz, it actually counts towards your Great Vault, which is absolutely bonkers. So you guys need to queue for those, all right? So, for the stats, I'm going to start off by saying, you guys want to know what's the best in slot? Right here, okay? We got the Mask of Furnace Seraph, okay? So you get 1600 in arenas, and then you can get the helm right away. All right, I'm gonna show you guys later in the video where to get it. It's pretty simple. And then you want to, with your conquest points, you want to buy those shoulders, turn that into tier set like usual, like in the other season. Revival Catalyst, you know where this is, right? And then what you want to do is get Vibrant Wilder Claw Slacks. Okay, how do you get those? Pretty simple. The first PvP game that you win, you get a box. Then when you open it, you get a Trophy of Conquest, which is, I don't know where, my inventory is so bad right now. But honestly, it gives you like 2 Trophy of Conquest. And I've proceeded to get the legs, because that's what the best players usually pick. And like, you know, I kind of wanted to just like get the gear and move on, because I got like 12 tunes to gear. So if you guys want me to keep making those build videos, please leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, because it really helps my small channel, right? So for the rest of your gear, what you want is pretty simple. You want haste over everything. Haste is the primary focus here. You want nothing else than haste if it's possible. The next best stat would be mastery, and the next one that we don't want at all costs is critical strike, but you're gonna get it eventually. So it's pretty much what it is. So for the cape, haste. The chest, you want waking stats, of course. Like on your for your necklace, you want haste. Your wrist, haste. Everything haste. You know, that's pretty much how it goes, all right? So we're running with the Draconic Aspirant's Insignia of Alacrity, okay? And for your main weapon, you want Wafting Writ. The reason why, you're dealing more damage than the other entrants. I know, I've tested everything. So now that we spoke about the best gear possible, we're going to talk about the best talents possible, okay? So what's happening right now is this build is the best that you can play right now for Shadow Priest in the Season 4 Dragonflight with the gear that we can have, right? So if that makes sense, it will be changing over time. So you guys might want to hit the bell to not miss out on the updated builds that I will release, right? So we're playing the Mind Spike build. I'm going to show you guys exactly how it plays. It's pretty simple once you know it. And what's happening is when you're doing arenas, solo shuffle, you don't want to go with Shadow Crash. As bad as it sounds, you don't want to go with it. You want to go with Insidious Hour instead. Okay, so I've been doing a bunch of solo queue RBGs, and as you might know it, it's way easier to use Shadow Crash in Whispering Shadows in solo queue RBGs, because it's going to be way easier for you to actually like dot multiple people. But when you're doing solo shuffle, you want that big void torrent damage, and Insidious Hour is going to greatly contribute to that, right? All right, so on top of that, what's happening with Insidious Hour, what the game does not tell you is that whenever you're popping your big Ascension, it actually increases your damage with your freaking Void Torrent, right? On top of actually hitting everything which have dots on top of them with Psychic Link. That's very important that you guys understand that part, okay? So if you dot multiple target, you use your big Dark Ascension, and then Devouring Plague once on the target, and then you Void Torrent, you will be dealing a humongous freaking damage, alright? Now that is being said, if you do actually watch this video up until the end, you won't regret it, because I will be linking great macros that will help you a ton, okay? You're gonna find those macros pretty helpful, right? I had to do some quite intensive research to get them. So, as usual, we're playing with mind games, everything into mind games. We're going to deal a huge freaking damage. We're playing with Angelic Feather. The reason why is because Shadow Priest is slow as a slug. Literally, I think a slug would literally win in a race against a Shadow Priest quite easily. So here's the catch. I have a macro right here. You're asking me right now. But Clunky, it's so lame to use Angelic Feather. Okay, I got a macro for you, boy. You want to see it? All right, let's go. Let's go. So whenever I press my macro, it actually places a feather right under me without me having to do it, right? So I just like hit the macro, bam, feather, bam. So it's basically 3 charges of sprints that you can use at all times on your Shadow Priest. And I think it saves a bunch of time. And it's pretty fun, and I like using that. So stay tuned. I will be showing you what's the macro. All right. And also, I will be linking the macros down in the description. Okay, so now that is being said, the build will revolve heavily around using your Devouring Plague. Okay, we're playing with Distorted Reality. Okay, pretty good, since now your tier set in the season 4 is going to greatly increase the damage of your Devouring Plagues, and it is just a no-brainer at this point. It's just a no-brainer, right? So PvP talents, right? So you got multiple options, right? We're just gonna focus on the main ones. For arenas specifically, for solo shuffle, you want Mind Trauma. Why? Because every time you do hit people with Mind Spike, it gives you 2% haste. And as you know it, haste is very important. We got a bunch of haste. It boosts that haste even further. It's so good, in fact. But keep in mind that you have to Mind Spike someone 3 times to get a max stacks from them. And then you got to Mind Spike someone else, okay? We're not going to be spamming Mind Spike the whole game. It's just to like add a little bit more damage for your dots taking overtime. And also what's the catch with Mind Trauma is it actually grants you 3 charges whenever you Void Torrent. So if you use Mind Spike, it gives you 2% haste. If you actually get off a full Void Torrent, it gives you 3 charges right away. So a bunch of haste right away, contributing greatly for your damage, especially if you're using Dark Ascension and your target has Devouring Plague on them, right? So the only thing I would switch Mind Trauma for would be Void Volley. Void Volley, sorry man. I haven't slept the whole night just to try and make the builds as early as possible for you guys. So hopefully you enjoy. So Void Volley, why is it good? Okay, I would say Void Volley is kind of crazy in BGs. It's kind of crazy in RBGs, kind of crazy in freaking solo shuffle RBGs too. And the reason why is kind of simple, right? So whenever you will be using your 1 minute Dark Ascension, every 1 minute you can do that, right? Every time you use your Dark Ascension, what it does, it actually creates a volley around you. A volley. And then what happens is whenever the enemies come into contact with the volley, they actually get feared. Like they get feared spam. So if you can actually like score a triple fear into a big dark ascension, it is going to fear everything for 10 seconds. 10 seconds of full fears on your target. And right now, okay, I'm playing a Void Elf. The reason why, it's not the best race for PvP. I just find it fun to play, okay? I'm not a meta player. I just like to play whatever feels fun, right? So, if you're interested in knowing the reason why, it's pretty simple. Once again, whenever you have your dots on your targets, you're about to burst, you're about to do your big wombo combo, you literally cast your Spatial Rift, which is your ratio for the Void Elf, okay? And then, what you do, you literally just like cast your Spatial Rift, and then Dark Ascension, and as soon as it goes off, you just like teleport right next to your enemies, and it spams spheres everywhere. And whenever this happens, your targets actually most likely trigger the trinket, the first fear, okay? Your first fear, which is Psychic Scream, and then they get fear spam, which is absolutely crazy because your dots are ticking, you're actually pressing your keys, you're dealing lots of damage. The best part about this trick is you're gonna get everybody's trinket, and then what's going to happen is they're gonna get spammed with fears again. So it's kind of crazy, all right? The next PvP talent that you absolutely need is Phase Shift. What it does, it basically replaces Fade with 1 second of absolute immunity against everything except interrupts. Okay, that's the only thing. So if a warrior storm bolts you and you actually hit Phase Shift before that happens, you're gonna dodge it. No matter what happens, you will dodge it. But if you're casting, if you're pressing Phase Shift and then you start casting and someone interrupts you, it won't make you immune to the interrupt. So that's a good trick that I kind of wish someone told me. The next PvP talent is actually Siphene. Why Siphene? I know it deals 0 damage. What is very cool about Siphene though, it reduces all healings by 50%. That's right. So be careful though, because it can get killed. So if you randomly use it, it might not be as good as if you predict it carefully. But right now, if your Siphene does not get killed, you are literally reducing all healings by 50% on the person that is being afflicted by your Siphene, which is kind of crazy. I don't even think another character in World of Warcraft can reduce healings by 50%. If you want to know what's the best race for Shadow Priest in rated PvP, it's actually Night Elf. Way better than the Void Elf. Way better, okay? So, Shadow Meld is just like way better. If you actually watch like the top ranked players, they all play Night Elves. That's for a reason, right? So, you guys are asking yourself right now, but how the heck did you get that helm, which is awakened? And I'm going to tell you right now, right? So I'm in Valdrakken right now, right? Main city in Valdrakken, right here. And then you got this place that is right here, okay? I will, Mr. Danny, can you zoom, please? Thank you, sir. Right here is where you can buy those. Okay, here's the catch. You need 1600 rating in rated BG or solo shuffle or like rated arenas. As soon as you get that 1600 rating, you come over here, you talk to this dude, you get a Mark of Mastery. I don't recall how it's called. Oh, never mind. This is that girl right over there. Okay, so be mindful though. You can exchange your Mark of Mastery for a piece of gear of your choice. But what's happening is this right here is the category for PvE tier sets. So if you plan on doing PvP, don't buy those ones. No, don't do that, okay? Do actually buy those right there. The reason why is because those pieces are for PvP only and those pieces are for PvE only, right? So only pick the pieces from here. The reason why I did not go for the chest is quite simple. We are most likely gonna craft something better from the work orders, okay? Because crit is super bad for Shadow Priest overall. We don't want crit. We want to avoid it. So I'm going to craft a piece from the work orders as soon as we get enough sparks with haste on it. Basically, that's the reason why. And then once you're done getting those 2 pieces, which are absolutely best in slot right now, if you want to start the season perfectly, there you go. That's the best possible way to do it. All right. So for the legs, you want to craft them at the work orders. As for your legs, what you want to do is craft them at the work orders. All right. So you guys most likely know how it works so far. You got to go right here, Artisan's Metal, which is right here in Valdraken. And then you can craft your legs, assuming that you actually have a spark available, which you can definitely have, okay? The way to do it is pretty simple. You just go into the PvP area, which is where you buy most of your gear. And then there's a bunch of quests right here. Okay, this girl over here gives you like 2 quests that you can do. And if you complete those quests, you get 1 spark each. So you can literally just go over there, grab your legs. Okay, so we spoke about the very best in slot items that you can buy right now in season 4 for Shadow Priest. We spoke about the very best talents, how they work. Now we're gonna talk about how to deal damage, because it's kind of confusing. I know, because I was there. Man, Shadow Priest was a confusing character for me. I don't know why, but it was the case. All right. So I've installed an add-on which shows the spells that I'm pressing in real time, so you guys can actually follow along. So we're gonna proceed into showing you guys the full PvP rotation. Let's do it. Okay, so full burst rotation, it's pretty easy. You need to fully dot everything, okay? Because your mastery actually increases the damage on your targets whenever they have multiple dots on them. Dots meaning damage over time effects. Okay, so Shadow Word Pain, Vampiric Touch, Devouring Plague. Right, so whenever you do Vampiric Touch once with this build, it will actually put Shadow Word Pain also on your target, so you don't have to worry about that. The macro makes it way more fluid, way more faster to actually use your Shadow Crash, because your Shadow Crash actually applies Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Pain to your targets. So my macro, how it works, super simple. Usually, whenever you try to use a Shadow Crash, it creates a green circle on the ground, and you need to repress the ability with your left mouse click so that the ability goes off, right? But now, wherever your mouse is pointing, whenever you hit my macro, bam, your Shadow Crash goes on and hits everything right away. It's way faster, especially if there's multiple enemies fighting and you kind of have to use your Shadow Crash right now or else, and then you mistakenly click on someone else and then it screws you over. No more. With my macro, it does not happen. And then we switch target to get that haste generation. Redotting. Keep in mind, the numbers that you see here are not accurate as to the most damage that we can possibly do, because it's the early season. And then standing at 600 KDPS, kind of strong, I would say. Redot again. Oh, thanks Omar for the follow on YouTube. Really do appreciate it. I would highly appreciate it if you guys would do that too. So around 600k total DPS. Again, this is pre-season, so it will be much higher in the future. But as of right now, this is the most damage possible that you can pull off, all right? So Psychic Link actually our top damage, almost 30 damage of our total damage. As I've explained, you always need all of your dots on your main target. So whenever you press Dark Ascension and your big beam, it actually deals some wombo combo damage. So that was the full burst rotation with no building up prio. Okay, so if you guys actually noticed, I've started with a 0 insanity, and I've started like the rotation as if I needed to like start bursting right away. It would have been a bit better. Like I would have been able to pull off like 100k more DPS if I actually like build it up before actually going into the full burst rotation. But I want to make that as accurate as possible for you guys. Okay, so Psychic Link, pretty big damage, hitting for maximum hit 60k. Okay, so everybody with your dots actually get hit for 60k. Like that is kind of dumb, dude. That is kind of dumb. Vampiric Touch hitting for a 242k. The reason why is because whenever you are in Dark Ascension, you deal more damage. All of your damage deal more damage. No, never mind. Sorry, my bad. Your Dark Ascension increase the direct damage of your abilities. So whenever you first use Vampiric Touch, your next Vampiric Touch is going to be instant, and it is going to hit harder, way harder, instantly dealing huge damage, which is kind of good. You need to remember that. You got Shadow Word Pain hitting for pretty measly numbers, but it's sticking. It's sticking with the high haste that we're pulling off with all those stacks. As you guys seen, I've switched targets. I've mind spiked those targets, okay, for 3 hits each. So I'm getting max stacks of haste. This is very important that you do that. I know it's not going to be possible all the time because you get interrupted and everything, but that's just to show you guys what you should be aiming for this rotation, right? So Echoing Void, just like random damage, you know. Devouring Blade, dealing kind of good burst damage, but it's going to be better once we get the full tier set. Way better. Same thing for Shadowy Apparition. Void Torrent, dealing kind of good damage. Void Torrent would have did like 40% more damage if we were actually playing with our 2 points into Insidious Ire. Okay, so keep in mind we were using Shadow Crash and Whispering Shadows. If we actually switched into Insidious Ire, we would have dealt 40% more damage if you have Vampiric Touch, Shadow Word Pain, and Devouring Plague on your target whenever you are using a Void Torrent. So I need your help right now, okay? I need your help to reach that 10k subscribers, okay? So my channel is very small, and if you can do something to help me, just share that build to your friends on Facebook, whatever. Hit the subscribe button, the bell button. It will actually help me so much. You don't believe how much it will actually help. Okay, so we're getting so close to that 10k subscribers. Hopefully guys enjoyed this video. I will be linking down the Shadow Crash macro down in the description, and also this build, and also I will be linking down the macro for your feather down in the description also. So thanks a lot for watching. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys watching my videos. It really means a lot, and as always, see you next video, gentlemen. Let's go! Season 4 of Dragonflight.